Alright, so this is going to be pretty similar to my Season 14 MAUL guide video. I'm going to be going over a lot of the same stuff today. I'll tell you right now I'm using the same build that I was using last season, but they're having a few updates to MAUL, so I'm going to be going over that, as well as pretty much going over a lot of the same information from the Season 14 video. So, let's just hop right into it. First, let's talk about attributes. I'm still running fairly similar, the same build that I have been, about 90% toughness, 10% strength. Um, Actually, I'm probably about 85 strength. I mean, sorry, 85% toughness, 5% armor, about 10% strength right now. I have been putting a little bit more points into my armor because of the new reforged element to the game. My rolls were pretty bad in terms of armor on most of my pieces, but we'll get into that more later. But yeah, so still for me, the majority of my points are in toughness, with just a little bit of points into strength and armor. This is the build that I've run for a long time now. This is the one that I feel gives me the most survivability and the most freedom to utilize the CC that MAUL gives to the highest of its ability, since I just have so much HP to be able to survive, get in, get out, heal, repeat. This is not the only way to run your attributes for MAUL. The one of the cool things about MAUL right now in the game is that they're, just because you see them all on the other team or on your team, you don't know exactly know what they're running. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can go full armor, which is very similar to full toughness. It's really just user preference at that point, which one you feel like you have more survivability between. You can also go pretty significantly into strength if you want. It's not my style. You can go 50% strength, 50% toughness, or even 100% strength if you really want to just have fun. I don't think 100% strength is the smartest thing. If you're in a high, if you're in a high tier territory war environment, or a game that really matters to you for whatever reason, I don't think high strength is the way to go. I think survivability is too important. However, it is a lot of fun to mess around with full strength maul, and doing 50-50 strength toughness or 50-50 strength armor um, is pretty viable if you can learn how to manage your health. Um, Outside of that, yeah, those are pretty much all the builds I would recommend for attributes. Any mix between strength, armor, and toughness that you find enjoyable. Agility doesn't really mean anything to you, Ismail. You're going to be fine with armor pen just by your weapon itself. As I said in the previous video, most units in this game do not have very high blunt defenses, so your pen's going to be pretty fine no matter what. Yeah, so let's run into runes next. So starting with the weapon itself, I'm running the same Maelstrom rune from last season. It's just really great. It increases your defenses while you're in your spin, which is going to be on top of Death Ball, hypothetically, most of the time, so having that extra defense is awesome. As well as this new rune for Earthsplitter, which is awesome. It's actually not as big of a difference maker as a lot of people make it out to be, I think. I've seen a lot of people running MAUL this season, a lot more than last season, and I think this rune is why. However, I don't really think it actually makes a huge difference, as you'll see. I have some clips going on later after this, but I do still run it right now, because I do run the skill. I do run both the skills, Earthsplitter and Maelstrom, so it makes sense for me to run these runes. If you don't want to run these runes, stam regen increased by 25% is great. So if you're not using Maelstrom, go for this, or even if you are using Maelstrom, but for whatever reason don't feel like you need this extra defenses during your spin, and this works better with your playstyle, there's no reason that is incorrect. That is completely fine. Extra stamina is always great. So in terms of armor runes, this is what I'm rocking on my helmet right now. It's kind of weird. I don't love it. I don't really like the options we have for the 3-point runes this season. But in my mind, I just figure if I'm on a point, I want to be surviving. So I have damage taken decreased by 12% on capture point, because 12% is fairly significant, even though it's only applying to a very small portion of the game. When you're physically standing on a capture point, 12% is pretty significant. Reduce damage taken from headshots by 35%. I just think that number is just too significant to ignore. 35% is huge. And then increase toughness by 5 points. Not saying that this is, my way or the highway on this. This is just my preference. Feel free to go around about helmet runes as you like. Onto chest runes. I would say that this is probably, I can for sure say that this is my favorite thing for MAUL. The only thing you might want to switch out instead of this is increase stamina by 100 points if you really want to be a stamina fiend. I feel like I don't really need the extra stamina. Feel like I can manage the stamina I have already pretty well, so I'm just going full tank build. Reduce damage taken from units by 7% is awesome. Reduce damage taken overall by 2% and fall damage by 50% is awesome. And increase armor by 5 points as well. And yeah, if you want to do range damage specifically for 7%, go for it, but I just feel like why would you do that when units in general is right there. So, moving on to my boots, which I will show off my boots. This is by far the best Reforged piece I've rolled. So, there you go. Increase all armor pen by 2%, and then the fast band-aid, the fast healing. That's what I'm rocking right now. I feel like this 4.1 is so weird and so specific. I've never used this. And then yeah, if you want to use heal while moving, I know a lot of people love that. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I think that the 2%, just do the math, the 2% is most likely going to be a better return for you than agility, 5 points, depending on your class. But yeah, that is what I'm running right now for boots. And then for gloves, this is my setup. MAUL, you're a unit killer, so each time you kill 3 enemy soldiers, your damage dealt increase 10% for 15 seconds. I really like that one a lot. And then just flat damage increase by 3%. After death, nearby allies will deal 10% more damage for 10 seconds. Love that rune. And then increase strength by 5 points just to top it off. I actually don't know what else you would run as a MAUL for this. Killing a hero is not, in my opinion, dependable enough as a MAUL. If you feel like you're getting a lot of hero kills, then great, run it. But I feel like at least me personally, I'm more unit kill focused. So this is why I'm running the setup I'm running now. And then I don't know why you would run increased damage 2% once you unlock this one, because it's just more. So that's what I'm running right now for bracers. Alright, moving on to skills. So yeah, I am still running, actually, I just was doing some testing, so excuse me. I am still running the exact same build that I was running last season with Maelstrom and Earthsplitter. I'll run through this quickly again because it's going to be very similar to my last video. But yeah, so the skills for MAUL that are absolutely necessary no matter what build you are running would be Mighty Mjolnir and Mountain Breaker. So these two skills both charge up other abilities. That is why they are so critical. If you chain your chargeable abilities such as Maelstrom or Earthsplitter or Bonebreaker after abilities such as Mjolnir or Mountain Breaker, they are fully charged. You do not need to manually charge them up as you would otherwise. So that's why no matter what build you're running, you're going to be running Mjolnir and Mountain Breaker. Mountain Breaker is your only counter CC move. It's your only get up. It's the only thing to get you off the ground if you're CC'd. That's MAUL's biggest setback in my opinion, is that you only have one get up move in your entire arsenal, at least with this build. If you run Forge of War, I believe Forge of War is a get up. Yeah, Forge of War is a get up, so that's an extra bonus you get with that. But if you're running this build, you only get Mountain Breaker. So a lot of decision making with MAUL, if you run this build, is going to go into, do I use my Mountain Breaker to chain an ability right now, or do I save this in my back pocket in case I get CC'd and need to get up and dodge out? So that's going to be part of your gameplay. That's going to be something that you figure out the more time you spend on MAUL. But yeah, Mountain Breaker and Mighty Mjolnir charge up your other abilities. They are absolutely critical. Your chargeable abilities, this is where you get to have a lot of freedom of creativity of what you feel does the best for you. Maelstrom, has not changed. It is still CC immune, just built into the skill. The rune does nothing to affect CC immunity. It's not choke immune, so things like Rough Justice, Dual Blade ult, Chain Dart chokes, those things can knock you out of your animation. But anything that is not a choke, you are immune to while in your spin. You don't do as much damage as Bonebreaker. Your animation is faster than Bonebreaker. You do not have as big of an AoE as Bonebreaker, because your character, when you're doing a Maelstrom, you pretty much want to be right on top of whatever you're swinging at in order to hit it and do damage to it. With Bonebreaker, you're taking steps forward with every swing, and it's a slower animation, so you have more time to swing your camera around and impact things around you. You can still swing your camera around with Maelstrom too, it's just that everything's a little bit faster, everything's a little bit more sped up. You don't do quite as much damage, and you're CC immune. In addition, if you run Maelstrom, like I said earlier, you get this extra rune on top as a bonus. And yeah, so that is Maelstrom in, quick little post-it note. Mountain Breaker, like I said, charges up other abilities. It's your counter CC move. It is also great for interrupting Cav. My interrupt Cav charge combo is dismount, RT, dismount, Mountain Breaker, Earthsplitter. That's 3 Cav interrupters in a row. So if you're diving in front of a Hussar, Cataphract, Dagger Axe charge, whatever, that is the combo that I use. So let's move on to Earthsplitter next. So I'm still using Earthsplitter. They haven't changed anything about the skill itself. All they've done is added this rune that increases the area of effect by 25%, which wasn't huge in the first place. Remember, Earthsplitter is a great skill, mostly because of its 8-second cooldown. The damage it deals is fine, but it's not incredible, and the area of effect is fine, but it's, again, not super great. The skill of Forge of War has an area of effect similar to a short sword ultimate. It's huge. The damage numbers are way bigger, especially if you go full strength Forge of War. You can kill heroes very, very quickly. You can do 15,000 damage in a Forge of War hit if you're full strength to a hero. So yeah, the Earthsplitter is still what I'm running. However, it's not as big of a difference as last season, and I'll show you guys that now with a few clips I have. So what you'll see with these clips is that the first clip is Earthsplitter without the rune, so this is what Earthsplitter looked like last season. This is an F2 stalwart, and then the second clip is Earthsplitter with the rune, and the final clip is Forge of War. And as these clips are running on the screen, I'm going to talk about them a little bit. You'll see that the first Earthsplitter clip without the rune, it impacts every stalwart in the formation except for the first 2 rows. And then the second clip, Earthsplitter with the rune turned on, impacts even the front row of stalwarts from the back. So that is the area of effect increase that you're getting. You're now impacting every piece of that unit when they're clumped up. And you'll see Forge of War. It has a pretty similar area of effect, at least in this demonstration, to Earthsplitter without its rune. It impacts every stalwart except for that very first row. So I just wanted to show you guys this to kind of give you an idea that the AoEs are all fairly similar, and pretty much show you exactly how much of a difference you're getting with the Earthsplitter rune versus without it. And then the last thing I don't think I've touched on yet is the weapon itself, especially with this new Reforged system. It's pretty much the same as ever. You're looking for blunt damage and strength. The new Reforged system gives the ability to have, defense, toughness, rolls like that on your weapon, and those are all extremely nice to have. But at the end of the day, you want to be looking for blunt damage and strength. I have not had any good luck reforging a MAUL. This is the best one I have right now. As you can see, it's pretty terrible. I've been locking the toughness and trying to get a better blunt damage roll. I don't know. I'm pretty much lost when it comes to rolling a good MAUL. I've seen a handful of screenshots of really, really good ones, but I have had no such luck. But yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to touch on, guys. You're looking for blunt damage, you're looking for strength. Blunt pen is great. Agility's okay. Armor and toughness rolls are great. anything revolving around your blunt damage and strength, though, those are the two stats that you want to maximize more than anything else. So yeah, any questions, guys, please feel free to post them in the comments. Any other type of guides you want to see, please let me know. Anything you think I missed, please reach out in the comments as well. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe to see more stuff from me in the future, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.